Hey there, and welcome to my airline trip experience report, KLM Royal Dutch Airlines. I'm today flying from my hometown airport in Germany to Amsterdam with an onboard connection to Los Angeles. The reservation includes another onboard connection which will be from Los Angeles to Honolulu. That will be on KLM's partner Delta Airlines. Unfortunately, the trip started with two problems. Problem 1, I did not have any baggage to check in, so it was even more unfortunate that I could not receive my boarding passes after checking in online. Wow, there's already quite a long line at KLM check-in desk. So, as it seems, all the passengers had the same problem. They could not get their boarding passes online at home and also not at the machines here at the airport. So the mood in the line was not the best. It took me 1 hour to finally get my boarding passes printed out at the desk. KLM, seriously, this is not cool. Totally unnecessary. Problem 2. KLM has rescheduled the flight to Los Angeles to depart and arrive 2 hours later than when I booked. So it was required to put me on a later connection flight to Honolulu as well. In KLM's system that happened, but in Delta's system it did not. The next problem, unfortunately, as the flight to Los Angeles was scheduled to a later time from my original booking, and I cannot get my boarding pass also and my rebooking for the next flight to Honolulu. Here at the check-in desk, actually I got 3 boarding passes, to Amsterdam, to Los Angeles and to Honolulu. It appears that flight to Honolulu is the one I cannot reach. It's a bad connection. I mentioned this to the agent, he confirmed this, but he was unable to put me on the correct flight. He acknowledged that I'm actually rebooked on that flight, but the boarding pass he could give me is only the one for the wrong flight, for the one that I cannot get. So I will go in Amsterdam to the transfer desk. I'm very hopeful that there I will get help. And I also expect that I get help there, of course. Let's see. I'm in a very good mood. Finally now is 1 hour before departure. I need to go through security check still. Let's go. My mood is good. So, finally, let's fly. The plane is a Boeing 737-800. Leg room is not the best in town, but it's okay. The seat has no USB port or power outlet, and also there are no entertainment screens. The cabin has all economy seating, also in business class as is normal in Europe. This morning flight was friendly, from boarding welcome till farewell. All announcements were also easy to understand. Meanwhile, I enjoy this magnificent view and I await a small snack and a water being served. Soon we are already on approach to Amsterdam.
Take a seat.
Once inside the terminal, I stop by the transfer desk, which is available for presenting my ticketing issue to an airline employee. Alright, in Amsterdam I went to the KLM transfer desk. The staff there were very easy to approach, they were very friendly, they allowed me to explain my problem, and the lady walked away with my passport and my boarding passes for about 15 minutes, came back, explained that it was a pretty difficult case. They could now book me on the next flight from Los Angeles to Honolulu, on which I should actually already have been, after my flight from Amsterdam to Los Angeles has been rescheduled to arrive there later than originally scheduled. However, it was not possible for them to issue my boarding pass. They handed me a paper that states that I'm now booked on that flight. It wouldn't be a problem if I had enough time in Los Angeles. I just would have to check in. No problem, just a little bit more hassle, but no problem. In this case though, as I think it's really tight to reach that flight, I'm not happy and I really want my boarding pass for a smooth transit there. I was told that it can take a couple of hours until the system is taking in all the information and I can go again to a transfer desk here in Amsterdam where I have 6 hours between my flights and then the boarding pass should be issued. Let's see. I don't really understand how this can be so complicated, but sometimes we don't understand all things. Let's see. In the meantime, I will enjoy my time here. Here I see the aircraft arriving that will actually later take me to Los Angeles. It's a Boeing 787 Dreamliner and for me the first time I fly the 10 series. So, it's 3 hours ago that I was at that help desk and I was told that it will take some time until my new confirmation of that changed flight has gone through into the system. I went to Delta.com trying to check into that flight from Los Angeles to Honolulu, and when I open my reservation in Delta.com it shows the flight that I'm going to miss, on which I was previously booked. I went now to the T6 transfer desk of KLM between the gates E and F, and I needed somebody to explain to me how to get a number for the waiting queue. When I got it, the kiosk that printed it out told the waiting time is 1 hour to 1 hour 20 minutes. Guys, I like KLM. I always love to fly with them, but today they don't do well. They really don't do well. So this is how it went. It took me 45 minutes to wait, and when it was my turn it took another 30 to 45 minutes. I don't know exactly how long, but it took long until they had finished my case. First they told me, of course, go to Los Angeles, you will get your boarding pass from Delta there. And I said, sorry, I have the feeling that I should know at least which seat I have on that flight from Los Angeles to Honolulu. If I'm booked on it, why don't I have a seat? And then she checked and it came out On Delta Airlines, I was booked still on the previous flight only in the KLM system. I was a passenger on the later Delta flight. And at that, at least, it was clear what had happened, but that wasn't a solution. The flight to Honolulu is actually overbooked that I need to take and that I was supposedly booked on after KLM changed the departure time from Amsterdam to Los Angeles to a later time, and I had to be rebooked on a later flight to Honolulu. It took some time, and the agent really did her best and asked and consulted another colleague, and in the end they got me on that flight and I have my boarding pass now. Thank you to that agent to listen to me and take my case. And now, after all this, it's time to fly again. KLM ready to board to Los Angeles at gate F7. Once in the aircraft, the crew gave a warm welcome and they were very active during boarding to get everyone and their bags accommodated. There seemed to be quite a few people not sitting together, and the crew helped all these cases to be arranged. Could it be that not being seated together is some kind of a new trend? Anyway, leg room was very nice. The seats were equipped with USB ports, but not with power plugs. Of course, there were personal entertainment screens. The seats had adjustable headrests. Soon after takeoff there came not the usual drinks service, but a half-liter bottle of water. Well, that's something good to have on a long flight. A bit later, meal was served. It came without butter, without salt and pepper, and without dessert, not even a cookie. There was bread and cheese, pasta salad without dressing, and a main dish which was rather small. The pasta in the salad was like a paste, a much too soft consistency. My choice for main dish was lasagne, which was very heavy and oily, and, sorry for all this lamenting, it had a lack of spices and therefore no taste. The food offer overall was really not so impressive. The best was probably the bread roll. For drinks, I chose a Heineken beer and I received a small can of 250 milliliters. After all trays had been cleared away, it took a while more, and then coffee and a muffin were served. As the flight made progress across the Atlantic Ocean, it happened what keeps happening on this kind of long flights. Even though it was a daylight flight during midday, the crew asked everyone by the windows to darken their shades. If not, that was already done by most passengers anyway. The crew then turned on mood lighting in a warm color. This feature is supposed to help create a cozy night feeling so everyone can sleep. Only I am personally not a big fan of this at all when it is midday. For a certain part of the flight, the light was even turned off completely. When we were already cruising over icy northeast Canada, a chocolate oat bar was offered to those awake. With the hours in the air adding up, I want to mention that during the more service-intensive beginning of the flight, the crew mentality was something I call professional friendly, but with a warm touch. When I later went to the galley and asked for a beer, I received it with a very warm, welcoming attitude. Around 2 hours before arrival, more food was served. A hot slice of pizza bread, not very tasty. Noodle salad with herbs, refreshing and very delicious. And sweet caramel mousse, which was really nice. This was followed by another tea or coffee service. In total, I have to say, the crew actually performed quite a few service rounds. Alright, KLM, that's that. Now it's time for some small conclusions.